Hi everyone, wishing you all a very happy 7th International Yoga Day. This is Aditi. Welcome to the international webinar organized by Doon Institute of Medical Sciences, Faculty of Ayurveda. Before starting with the session, let us have words from Principal's desk from Dr. Archana Kamble ma'am. Yoga Day. This is Aditi. Welcome to the international webinar organized by Doon Institute of Medical Sciences, Faculty of Ayurveda. Before starting with the session, let us have
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to international webinar organized by Doon Institute of Medical Sciences, Dehradun, on the occasion of 7th International Yoga Day. It is a very proud feeling for me as a principal of the Faculty of Ayurveda to inaugurate today's August gathering, including scholars, not just from different parts of India, but also from different parts of the world. With today's webinar, we officially enter the new age of technology, supported education with commitment of congregating academic and research scholars on the platform of DIMS. Dehradun is acknowledged as the educational hub, and DIMS has proved to be the pioneer institute of Ayurveda in Dehradun. On this occasion, I thank and welcome Dr. Mridul Lonkar, Mr. Pavan Kumar SN, Ms. Sharon Cap, and Dr. Sunil Parab on this platform to share their research experiences, views, and wisdom. It gives us pleasure to associate with these great scholars and also with their esteemed institutes, Dr. D.Y. Patil University School of Ayurveda, Navi Mumbai, Amrita Darshanam International Center for Spiritual Studies, Amrita Vishwa Vidyapit, Bangalore, and Houston Yoga and Ayurveda Ashram, Cyprus, Texas. I would like to express special thanks to Mananiya Baby Rani Maurya, Governor of Uttarakhand, Mananiya Shri Harak Singh Rawat ji, Ayush Minister of Uttarakhand, and respected Dr. Sunil Joshi sir, Vice Chancellor of Uttarakhand Ayurveda University, for their initiative and support behind organizing this virtual event on the International Yoga Day. I also thank ever supporting management, Srimati Dipti Rawat, Chairperson, Shri Tushit Rawat, Managing Director, and Srimati Anukriti Gusai Rawat, Executive Director, and Dr. Ashok Kumar Sharma, Campus Director, for their continuous support and encouragement. At the end of my talk, I would like to leave with words from Shanti Path. Sarve bhavantu sukhinah, sarve santu niramaya, sarve bhadrani pashyantu, ma kvashit dukha bhaga bhavet. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Thank you. I announce the webinar to be officially inaugurated and request the coordinator to proceed with the webinar.
Thank you, Principal Ma'am. Now, as Ma'am have instructed, we will start with a scientific session. It is my great pleasure to introduce you to our first speaker, Dr. Mridul Lonkar Ma'am. Ma'am is qualified with MD, PhD in Swasthavrita and Yoga. She is currently working as an associate professor in D.Y. Patil University School of Ayurveda, Navi Mumbai. She has 14 international research paper presentations in national and international conferences. Ma'am will be speaking on the practical approach to Ashtanga Yoga.
Okay, thank you. Practical approach to Ashtanga Yoga. We know about the Ashtanga Yoga. Ashtanga Yoga, according to Patanjali Yoga Sutra, and it is in a Patanjali Darshan, Yoga Darshan, Patanjali explained about the Ashtanga Yoga. These are Yama, Niyama, Asana, Pranayam, Pratyahara, Dharana, Dhyan, and Samadhi. When we focus on the Ashtanga Yoga, how practically we can implement it. That is, Yama it is a abstinences, Niyama observances, Asana yoga posture, Pranayam breath control, Pratyahar, withdrawal of senses. Dharana, concentration, and dhyan, it's a meditation. When practically we arrange it in this way that the yama and niyama comes under the ethical practices of yoga, ethics, whatever we should follow while following the yoga. That is yam, social ethical practices, ethics, and the niyam, it's a personal ethics, what we should practice it. Then physical practices, to we know the definition or the about the uh, health. It's a complete health, that is physical, mental, social, and spiritual well-being, and not merely the absence of disease. When in that perspective we see the Ashtanga Yoga, that Ashtanga Yoga will give you the complete health. According to Ayurveda also, the समदोषः समग्निश समधातु मलक्रियः प्रसन्न आत्मेन्द्रिय मनः स्वस्थ इत्यभिधीयते. So while the health is concerned, that is physical, mental, social, and spiritual health, by means of yoga or Ashtanga yoga, we can achieve by practicing regular practice of the Ashtanga yoga. Second one is a physical practices of yoga, that is asana and pranayam. Mental practices, pranayam comes under the physical practices as well as the mental practices, pranayam and pratyahar. Sensorial practices, that is a pranayam and pratyahar. And spiritual practices, these are the dharana and dhyan, and the moksha, that is the aim of our life, that is achieved by the samadhi. When we think about the body, how yoga works, that is on the layers of our existence. Our layers of our existence are body, breath, mind, intellect, memory, ego, and self. Yes, so body, breath, body, it's we can see, breath we can feel, and other things we can only imagine and think over that. According to the Taittiriya Upanishad, when we divided these 7 layers, we should think about the Panchakoshas. That is Annamaya Kosh, Pranamaya Kosh, Manomaya Kosh, Vijnanamaya Kosh, and the Anandamaya Kosh. So the Anandamaya Kosh, it's a physical sheath affected by the physical problems due to the wrong postural habits and the sedentary lifestyle, and it is rectified by yogasana. Yes, then pranayam, that is affected by wrong breathing pattern and rectified by the pranayam, that is a pranamaya kosh. Manomaya kosh, that is a mental sheath affected by the mental affiliation and occupational mental stresses, and it is rectified by yama, niyama, dharana, and dhyan. Yam, these are the social ethics, and niyam are the personal ethics. In yam, there are the ahimsa, satya, asteya, brahmacharya, and aparigraha, and in niyam, shauch, santosh, tapaswadhyaya, and ishwar pranidhan. Then Vijnanamaya Kosh, that is intellectual sheath affected by workload and the overstress, and it is rectified by Pranava Sadhana or Omkara, Jap, and Dhyana, that is a meditation. And Anandamaya Kosh, it's a blissful sheath when we practice regularly above all the yogasan, pranayam, pratyahar, yam, niyam, dhyan, dharana, then we achieve the blissful sheath that is affected by the psychosomatic elements and rectified by the abhyasa and vairagya. Abhyasa, vairagyabhyam, tannirodhaha, leading to samapatti state, and later it is in the samadhi. When we see about the Panchakosha, that is 5 kosh, that is sheaths of the human personality. Sthula Sharira, Annamaya Kosh, Sukshma, Pranamaya Kosh, Manomaya Kosh, and Vijnanamaya Kosh, and Karana Sharir, that is a Anandamaya Kosh. Yes. Then comes the Shat Chakras. When life is dependent on the energy we derive from the various things, all physical and mental activities of the body run by the energy. This energy derived from imaginary wheels which are transmitters of energy. The knowledge of Shat Chakras is based on the relationship of consciousness, mind and soul with different Nadi Kendras, that is nerve centers present in the Merudanda. Chakras are also considered as a body's subtle glands, and they carry links to specific parts of the physical glands or the glandular system. Whenever we think about the endocrine system, just now we have seen about the physical, mental and other things. There again the endocrinal system, that the Shat Chakras, the meditation on the Shat Chakras, work on the Shat Chakras while your concentration while doing the yogasana as well as pranayam on the Shat Chakras, it is helpful for the endocrinal balance. That why? Because these chakras are the centers of the endocrine glands or the plexuses, like a brain and pineal gland, Sahasrara chakra, hypothalamus, brainstem, pituitary gland, like this. When we concentrate on these Shat Chakras while doing the yogasanas, while doing the while practicing the pranayama and the meditation, we can achieve the health of the endocrine system. When comes to the body, that is first layer of our existence, it is rectified by the yogasana. The definition of yogasana is Sthira Sukhamasana. That is Prayatna Shaithilya Ananta Samapattibhyam. According to Patanjali Yoga Sutra, the physical aspect, what is called is yoga, is recent years the asanas have been much popularized in the West. But when we think about the yogasana, that is your mind, your soul, your breath with whatever you are doing, the activities in the asanas is called as a yogasana. It improves the flexibility, improves the strength, improves the balance, reduces the stress and anxiety, reduces the symptom of lower back pain, and be beneficial for the other lifestyle disorders like the PCOD and the COPD, etc. Now, when the second, we think about the second layer, that is a pranayam, pran plus ayam, tasmina sati, shwasa prashwasa yogar vichedaha pranayam, or prachardana vidaranabhyam va pranasya. It's nothing but what we are doing, whatever our rhythm of the that breathing, we break that rhythm, that is prachardana vidaranabhyam. That is, it is extended or shorten the breath as well as to hold the breath is called as a pranayam. It's a physical, mental, emotional and intellectual as well as the spiritual movement. Study of pranayam is to gain control over our movements. Why? The control of prana is through the control of breath. We know breathing is a continuous process from time of birth to the time of death. We can say it's a our life is between the two breaths. At the time of birth is a first breath, and at the time of death is a last breath. So breathing is automatically controlled by our autonomous nervous system, and breathing can be controlled by our will. We can take control of autonomous nervous system through pranayamic practices, activating the parasympathetic nervous system to decrease the anxiety. So in this way, when we see about the breath pranayam, that is the inhalation and exhalation, the role of oxygen in body is tidal air, means total, that is a 600 cc, air utilized 450 cc. We will see the mechanism, that is total lung capacity is 6000 ml, that is total lung capacity is a we can say the vital capacity, inspiratory capacity, and functional residual capacity. That is FRC. So TV, IRV, ERV plus RV. That is vital capacity is about the 4,800 ml and inspirational capacity is 3,600 and functional residual capacity is 2,400. Means we can say the tidal air that is about 500 ml is the amount of air inspired. Yes, and inspiratory reserved volume is 3,100 and expiratory 1,200. So the residual volume about 1,200 ml. That is, it is a volume of air still remaining in the lung after the expiratory reserve volume is XL. That is the inspiratory reserve volume and expiratory. After that, the dead air is there, which air is not taking part in the inspiration as well as expiration. With the help of pranayam, we can utilize this dead space and dead air and activate the what we can say the alveoli. Yes, so the normal breathing is 15 to 18 breaths. That is inhalation 2 seconds and exhalation 2 seconds. With the help of deep breathing pranayam, it may be 5:10 ratio. That is breathing rate is 4 per minute. So lifespan increases because of greater supply of the oxygen. So respiratory rate decreases because of the regular practice of the pranayam. Tidal volume increases, vital capacity increases, breath holding time increases, maximum breathing capacity increases, respiratory efficiency increases, and respiration become more smooth. And mechanism is parasympathetic nervous system dominance with the decrease in the sympathetic activity. So in the pranayam sadhana, what we are doing, the study of Purak, Rechak with a Kumbha, and that control must be slow, smooth, uniform, and steady. So in this way, the pranayam works that in the dead space or dead air and it increases the lifespan because of the respiratory rate decreases. Your respiratory rate is low, then our lifespan will increase. When the third is a pratyahara. Pratyahara swa vishaya samprayogo chittasya swarupanukaraha evendriyana pratyahara. Nowadays we are facing many problems related to the stress. Yes, and mainly the gadgets and other things. Our mind is divided everywhere, and therefore why? Because our sense organs is not in our control. So withdrawing the senses, gaining the mastery over the senses, we should practice the pratyahara. That is all the senses. Yes, the skin, the tongue, nose, ears, and eyes. So these senses will be controlled by the practicing of pratyahara. So to remove the stress and concentration, to improve the concentration, pratyahara practice is very important. After pratyahara comes dharana, dhyan, and samadhi. It is also called as the antaranga yoga, as these three work on our antaranga, that is mana. Yes, memory, ego, self, all these things. So dharana, after the pratyahara, desha bandhas chittasya dharana, that is concentration, is the process of holding or fixing the attention of mind onto one object or the place. When we remove the sense, our attention from our senses, all the senses are in our control. After that, the concentration is a process of holding and fixing the attention on whatever our aim is there. It is called as a dharana, and dhyan is tatha dhimata dhyanadva. That is tatra pratyeka tanata dhyanam. Yes, meditation is a sustained concentration. We can call it as a meditation, whereas the attention continues to hold or repeat the same object or a place. Whatever the attention, yes, whatever the concentration in a dharana that is sustained for a long time is called as a dhyana. When we see about the dhyan nowadays, we call it as a meditation. It is 9 popular types of meditation for our sake, for our convenience, that is mindful, spiritual, focused, movement, mantra, transcendental, progressive, and the loving and kindness meditation. That is again guided meditation, and after that we can practice further the deep meditation. Yes, so the about the last, that is a samadhi, that is tada ivartha matra nirbhasam swarupa shunyam eva samadhi. That is, samadhi is a deep absorption wherein only the essence of that object, place, or point shines forth in the mind, as if the mind were devoid even of its own form. That is, the stages of attention is the attention itself, which is progressively moving inward through these few stages. Means dharana, its attention leads to concentration. Then dhyan, concentration leads to meditation and samadhi. Then again, more practicing of the dhyan, it's a meditation, leads to the absorption, that is a samadhi. In this way, the Bahiranga Yoga, that is a yama, niyama, asana, pranayam. Then bridge is a pratyahar, and dharana, dhyan, samadhi, it's a antaranga yoga. We can call it as a sanyama on our mana. Dharana, dhyan, samadhi, together it is called as a sanyama. So in this way, how yoga works, that is again for the cleansing processes, षट karmas are important. So kriyas, asanas, pranayam, and dhyan leads to balance in endocrinal and nervous control, increases the mind and body control, and in this way the body and mind become calm, relaxed, and refreshed, and we will get health, happiness, and harmony by regular practice of the yoga. So yoga is a harmony. Harmony is a precious treasure of human life. There is no progress without harmony. Harmony in all works of life, body and mind, emotion and intelligence, self and society, purpose of life and method of living, etc. So yoga is an art and science of a healthy living. Happy International Day of Yoga. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Midul ma'am. Thank you so much. Namaste, everyone. This is Jatin. Now I am going to invite our very prestigious and own faculty of Doon Institute of Medical Sciences, Dr. Sunil Parab sir. He is heading Sahinta department as an associate professor, and is known for his expertise in Ayurveda, Indology, and philosophy. He has presented his research work in several international and national conferences, and also has promoted UG students for the same. He is also associated as principal investigator in the Sindhu Veda Research Institute, and plays an important role in providing necessary primary health care services in the rural part of Konkan. So I request Sunil sir to join with us and enlighten us.
Good evening, everyone, and wish you all a very happy International Yoga Divas. Today, the topic which is being given to me is to talk on yoga philosophy beyond physical postures. Nowadays, we see that yoga is famous throughout the world for asanas, for the physical postures. Or perhaps that is what people many times know when they hear about yoga or yoga. But yoga is not limited till that. It is much more beyond just physical postures. And we are just going to see one aspect of yoga philosophy today. Uh, Dr. Mridul ma'am has already talked about, she has already presented her paper on Ashtang Yoga and its practical approach, how we should approach Ashtang Yoga in a practical way. I'm going to talk about some different aspect of yoga philosophy over here. Let us first focus on the etymology itself. Yoga darshan. Yoga, yuja yoga. So to connect. The word denotes to connect. Darshan. Darshan drushyate anena iti darshanam. That through which we see, that wisdom, that philosophy through which we look into world, and that philosophy which will make our perception clear. So this is understanding, this is the ancient wisdom which will help us have a vision, a proper vision to look into things, perceive them, analyze them, and implement them for the practical purposes. That is what darshan means. What yoga is talking about, connecting, what it talks about, connecting what? So it talks about connecting individual soul to the universal soul. Jivatma connecting with Paramatma. What is Jivatma? Jivatma is the individual soul. For example, the soul inside me, soul inside you, each individual, that is Jivatma. And Paramatma is the universal soul, the omnipotent, the eternal, the one soul. For example, what we understand by calling Allah in Islam, or what we understand by Brahman in Vedic philosophy. That universal soul is Paramatma. So connecting individual soul with Paramatma or Jivatma with Paramatma, that is what yoga teaches. So this is just a diagrammatic presentation to show that there are numerous Jivatmas, but there is only one Paramatma. And connecting this one Jivatma with Paramatma, that is yoga. It is just like connecting your device with cloud. So many of us are now familiar with different devices. We have our iPods, mobiles, laptops, speakers, Wi-Fi, and everything is connected with each other. And suppose if we connect these devices with one cloud system, it is easier for us to download all the content, songs from that cloud on any devices that we are using. Similarly, if we can connect the Jivatma with Paramatma, that is the opportunity to download all the wisdom, all the intellect from Paramatma itself. So the people who have achieved great yogic powers, who can, uh, you know, who can perform the feats, though which are mysterious to us or unimaginable for us, they can do that because they have the access to that intellect. They have access to that strength. So that is the connection between Jivatma and Paramatma. So there is this famous author, Joseph Campbell, and he has this seminal work called "The Hero with a Thousand Faces." Uh, this is one of the best examples of literature, and I would recommend this book for everyone. Joseph Campbell had studied Indian philosophy, Indian archaeology. He had great interest in Indology, and after studying, he tried to analyze it also from his own perspective. So I have taken one reference from this book, from this author, to understand a different aspect of yoga philosophy that many a times we miss in our academic circles or within while teaching in colleges. We are sticking with the syllabus, but sometimes we miss out many of these practical aspects. We are going to talk about it today. So this is one of the reference in this book. Willed introversion, in fact, is one of the classic implements of creative genius and can be employed as a deliberate device. It drives the psychic energies into depth and activates the lost continent of unconscious infantile and archetypal images. The result, of course, may be disintegration of consciousness, more or less complete neurosis, psychosis, the plight of spellbound Daphne. But on the other hand, if the personality is able to absorb and integrate the new forces, there will be experienced an almost superhuman degree of self consciousness and masterful control. This is a basic principle of the Indian disciplines of yoga. So the language might seem a bit complicated because when Joseph Campbell is explaining this, he's explaining from the perspective of psychoanalysis. So psychoanalysis is something which is not much being discussed in field of Ayurveda and yoga. But let us understand it from easier perspective. So here, uh, Joseph Campbell says that in yoga, where we are talking about connecting individual to universal soul, at the same time, we are presenting ourselves the opportunity to understand the higher potential that is available to ourselves. If we can connect with universal soul, we can understand that what is the potential waiting for us, how much we can improve ourselves from the perspective of physical wellness, mental wellness, or spiritual wellness. Let us take one more example. So this is a classic example from Bhagavad Gita, and Bhagavad Gita is such an unique text that it can be interpreted from the perspective of Vedanta, yoga, and different schools of philosophies. So once Arjun knows who Krishna really is, that gives the opportunity for him to connect with Krishna and to understand that yes, even I can become Krishna. So Nara Narayana. So here Nara understands Narayan, and at that time he realizes that he has the opportunity to get connected with Narayan. He has the opportunity to better himself, to be just like Narayan. So this particular perspective itself is very important to realize that we can be like Paramatman. We can be better than this. We can achieve much more than this. What will happen if we understand this? It opens the doors to infinite possibilities, endless possibilities. Can I climb this mountain? This is one of the peaks from my trekking, and look at the trek. You can see the entire mountain that we have climbed up. So can I do this? Yes, we can. Can I execute a difficult yoga posture? Just I would request all the students to make a list of things that you always wondered about. Can I do this? Can I do this particular yoga posture? It is very difficult. Yeah. Can I swim in an ocean? क्या कर सकता हूं मैं तैर सकता हूं समुद्र में जाके क्यों नहीं Can I meditate? Yes, you can I take 5 to 6 lectures a day? Yeah, the question many lecturers even ask themselves. Yes, you can. So you whatever boundaries we have set up around us, those are the boundaries as an individual soul, as a human. But once you connect with universal soul, once you know that there is a possibility of breaking these boundaries, going beyond this, then we can do the things which normally we feel that we are not able to do. Can I work for 12 to 14 hours a day? Yes, you can do without increasing your stress, without making it, bound back on your physical health. What this will cause, once we understand that we can cross the thresholds, we can do and achieve more than what we used to pursue, what we used to think, that will lead to infinite positivity. Can I overcome my mental stress? Can I be happy? Can I reduce my anxiety? Can I make others happy? This is these four questions, and there can be even some more questions, but they, if you see, almost 98, 99% of population, human population, will be asking these questions. And the answer is there in yoga philosophy, to understand our higher potential. And what will happen after this? So once we become one with the Supreme, you call the Supreme with any name. Yeah, we call it Brahman, you call it Allah, you call it with any, you call it Guru, you call it any Ishta Devata, Grama Devata, or you call it anything. Once you become one with Supreme, you also become one with the nature. Then we start enjoying the nature to the fullest. Then we understand what it means to live with the nature and not away from the nature. And once we become one with nature, it is not difficult to be one with humanity. Once we become one with humanity, then all the negative forces are reduced. Lobha, Irsha, Dvesha, Matsarya, Raga, Dinam, Jitendriyaha. Right? So this Lobha, Irsha, Dvesha, Matsarya, all these are reduced once we become one with humanity. So one with Supreme, one with nature, one with humanity. So this is all about connection, and this is the aspect of yoga philosophy that I wanted to share on this platform on this occasion. Once again, a happy International Yoga Day to everyone. Thank you very much.
Prashantid, everyone. This is Rashid. Thank you, Dr. Sunil sir. Our next guest is Shri Pawan Kumar SM. Sir is currently working as yoga instructor at Amrita School of Engineering, Amrita Vishwa Vidyapeeth, Bangalore, Amrita Darshanam International Center for Spiritual Studies. Thank you, sir, for connecting with us all the way from Bangalore. Now, sir is going to talk about yoga and immunity.
Namaste. My name is Pawan Kumar. I'm an yoga instructor from Amrita School of Engineering, Bangalore, Amrita Darshanam. So thank you for this opportunity for Doon Institute of Medical Science. So let's talk about yoga and immunity. So as you all know, at present, immunity is a buzzword. So everybody is talking about immunity, like how one can build their immune system, or like what are all the things that makes their immune system stronger. So we'll discuss briefly. So immunity, the immune system is your first and last line of defense in the human body. So your immune system works for you in a day, in every second, while you're awake or while you're sleeping. So no one really understands how exactly the immune system works, but it's there in the body to recognize pathogens, to recognize germs, bacteria, and it kills them. So that's how our immune system works. And like every time, like our body gives indicators or indications, you can say. So when something is wrong, body gives indications. So that is again our immune system talking to us. See, for example, sometimes we get fever. So that is our immune system raises the body temperature, because at certain temperature, the bacteria or pathogens or germs that cannot survive. So that is why we get fever generally. So in that temperature, the pathogens or germs, that immune system kills that. And again, of course, if you are getting that fever continuously, like it will be for so many days, so that could be the some other reasons. And generally, I think all of you have done at least once blood test, what we say the complete CBC, complete blood count. So that is again, when the report says these like white blood cells, red blood cells, lymphocyte, again, these numbers and facts, so it tells us whether our immune system is high or low. So there are 4 pillars of immune system. So that is nutrition, exercise, sleep, and emotional health. So our immune system doesn't need much. It needs a right kind of nutrition. It needs a right amount of physical activity and right amount of sleep. And when it comes to emotional health, it needs a calm body to rejuvenate. So we'll discuss one by one briefly. So the first one, nutrition. See, when it comes to nutrition, a lot of people eat very good food. So very the best processed food or the best combination of food. So more important than the food you should be eating is so whether your digestive system is working properly or not. So see if the digestive system is not working properly and your body is not able to break down and absorb the food, so it is of no use. So it's not about what you eat; it's about how your body breaks down and absorbs what you eat. Again, here yoga helps. So most of the yoga practices uh, helps to improve your digestion. So you may think like while I'm talking, so most of the things apart from the yoga I may talk, you will feel like that. But again, see, I can straight away tell you like what are the yoga practices which help or to boost your immune system. Again, but that doesn't work if you don't take care of these factors. So, so then only the food nourishes your body. So if your digestive system is working properly, then only the body, I mean, it nourishes. So whatever we eat, and we have to eat, we have to chew your food properly. So when you chew your food, again, it helps to break down and absorb the content, whatever you eat. So actually, you can say the digestion starts in the mouth, and eat only when you are hungry. So very important one. See, few people follow this. So you should not follow your clock. So you should eat only when you feel hungry. See, after having breakfast, if you're not feeling hungry for your lunch, you should not eat. If the body requires food, it definitely will ask. So you should know the difference between hunger and appetite. See, sometimes after having complete meals, if we see some favorite food like sweets or ice cream, still we eat, even though we don't feel hungry. So that is appetite. So hunger is different. So you should not ignore hunger. So you should eat only when you feel hungry. And you should eat wholesome food. See, wholesome food is the balanced food or the balanced diet. What we say, it should contain vegetables, fruits, nuts, grains, everything. And if you ask me what are the immune boosting foods are, like onion, garlic. See, nowadays, like everybody knows, like what are all the, because they have searched and they also got to know like from sources, so which are all the immune boosting foods, like almonds, amla. So that is amlaki, especially we get a powder in Ayurveda, we say amlaki. So that is very good for your immune system. Uh, and again, what makes your or what destroys your immune system is the excess use of white sugar, junk food, the processed food. So that's about actually nutrition. Actually, there is so much to talk, but let's talk briefly. So the second pillar, the exercise or activity, the most important thing for your immune system. Again, people overtrain because they want to build muscles, they take supplements, so they spend 2 3 hours in the gym. Again, you don't have to punish your body. So even if you do 30 minutes practice or 30-minute workout, so that should be quality workout, quality practice. In a day, at least 30 minutes, your heart rate, pulse rate, respiratory rate should go up. So for that, you should do some activity. And if you ask me what are the best exercises you can do is the first one, the very basic one for all in all the age group, the walking. So everybody can do this. So the best practice for your health, for basic weight loss, for your immune system also. And again, if you practice consistently every day, otherwise it won't work. Again, the very important point while walking, so you should not talk. So many people don't know this. So generally, they go with their friends or family members. So they'll just talk and walk. So that doesn't help. So you can observe. So when we go with the friends or family members, we can uh, walk for a long distance also, like 2-3 kilometers. Even we don't feel tiredness or stress, or even sweat. We don't sweat also, because see, nothing will change. Your respiratory rate will not change, heart rate will not change. So that doesn't work actually. So it's not like walking, any other practices, yoga or anything, gym. So generally, we should not talk while practicing anything. And if you ask me the second, the best exercise, I can't say exercise, it's a practice. The best one, yoga. So again, yoga is the best because it includes the physical activity, mind, body, and breath. Again, it gives the best results. People again tell, like, I have tried yoga earlier, but it doesn't work for me. It's not working, or I didn't get any results. See, as I said, any practice you take, you should practice consistently, regularly. And again, as I said, I can straight away give you these are the yoga practices that is helps to boost your immunity. You may practice, uh, but if you don't take care of your nutrition, if you don't take care of your sleep, or if you don't take care of your emotional health, again, it doesn't work. So that's why people say, so I've tried earlier, but it doesn't work out. And you have to take care of these factors. And the third one, like people, some activities they'll do. See, now everything is closed, gyms are closed, yoga institutes are closed. But still, few people, they do some activity, like they do push-ups, pull-ups, squats, lunges, some see, now we all are at home, so more than doing a practice or any workout, so we should stay active. So there are a lot of people, they work out and they practice 1 hour in a day, but still they're sitting in the rest of the rest of the day. So that is still sedentary. Staying active is very important here. And I mentioned eat more, train more, eat less, train less. See, if you train so much, if you spend so much time like working out or practice, so again, you require so much food also. The more calories you need, the more sleep and the more recovery also you require. And suppose if you train less, say today you don't feel like practicing, so that day you just cut down your calories. You don't do it. You will be knowing, right? I'm not practicing today. You just cut down your calories. So that's about exercise. The next, sleep. So one of the most neglected yet the most important one. So the sleep deprivation decreases your immune system by 60 to 70%. So according to statistics, you can say like sleep is the out of these four pillars or four factors. Sleep is the main. So because it leads to decreases your immune system by 60 to 70%. See, no matter how much you practice or how well or how good nutrition food you eat, but if you're sleep deprived, you have a low immune system. See, we have to understand the importance of the sleep for many reasons. We compromise our sleep. For work, we compromise. For socializing, we compromise. And for everything else. So, everything, see, when you compromise your sleep, so it leads to illness, a disease, and it also you'll put on more weight. So people think if you sleep more in a daytime or sleep more hours, so that leads to like excess body weight, or you will put on more weight. Again, if you don't sleep properly, that also leads to like body weight, increase of your body weight, especially your belly fat. So most of the people think I'm practicing, I'm working out, but still I have belly fat. And generally they get excess belly fat. So that is one of the reason. Like if you're sleep deprived, you're not sleeping properly. And what exactly happens while you sleep? So the immune system rejuvenates all the healing process, repair. and you will get stronger, and your hormonal will balance. See, when it comes to hormonal balance, so at present, like in this generation, even male and female have these issues, especially when it comes to young girls or young female. So they have this PCOD, PMS. So these are hormonal issues because they are sleep deprived. One of the main reason for that, and you develop your growth hormones while you sleep. So generally, as you all know, so we required 6 to 8 hours of sufficient sleep time. So in case if you sleep less than 6 hours, like 4 or 5 hours, so what happens is the body doesn't have time to complete its natural process of cleansing or cleaning. So see, suppose why do we wake up in the early morning, a dirt between the eyes? Why does our mouth smells in the morning? See, these are all the waste products. So it means that while we sleep, the cleansing activity, so that happens. So that's why the waste products in the morning. So that's why we should give the body the sufficient time. Like, and again, like a lot of people say, I don't get sleep, deep sleep, or I don't get sleep. So there are so many reasons for that. So one main reason at present is uh, like excess use of gadgets. So 1 hour before bedtime, you have to switch off all your gadgets. See, generally we need a dark light uh, to stimulate melatonin. See, melatonin is an hormone, so that puts us to sleep. So that's why generally we switch off the light and we go to the bed to sleep. So if I'm looking at uh, my phone or iPad or my laptop, so 1 hour before the sleep, so I don't gonna get a deep sleep. So that's a dark light. So use that 1 hour to write, to meditate, to write, to read, or communicate with your family members. You plan for next day. See, you can do so much. So just think. See, everything comes out of planning and organizing. If we don't plan and organize, even 24 hours is not sufficient. So then we compromise the easiest thing, that is sleep. So you have to understand like the importance of the sleep. And the last one, deep breathing. Again, when you're stressed and your mind is working, so you don't get sleep. So you may like observe or you can experience this. So you go to the bed, but something is running in your mind. So you'll be thinking something. So you don't get sleep. Again, to get sleep, so the mind has to be relaxed, has to be calm. Again, you just sit down on your bed. Just take few deep inhalation and exhalation. I'm not saying whatever stress you have that will go away, but the breath will come to like a normal rate. So that helps to sleep properly. For that, you have to practice pranayama or meditation something. Just take few deep inhalation and exhalation. So that's about sleep. And the last one, the emotional health. So less you have, the higher immunity, the higher will be your immunity. So again, so whenever we will be in stress, the body releases a hormone called cortisol. Cortisol is an hormone, so that releases in the body when we are in stress. You can see in the picture. So when it comes to emotional health or mental health, there are so many emotions. So we face generally. So at present, you can say like most of the health problem or diseases are due to the emotional health. So you have to take care of your emotional and mental health. See, we as human beings, we have become disconnected ourselves, and we are constantly connected with everything external. So you can ask what happens if I connected everything external. See, I'm constantly responding to where I'm connected. See, if I'm connected completely to my job is going to control me. If I'm connected completely to my social media, so that controls me. See, I'm not saying it's not good to be connected for anything. So it's good to be connected, but little bit. but the main source of connection should be between you and yourself. Especially when it comes to social media, like people have so much addiction, you can say. So most of the most of the problems will come due to that. See, in an average person, they look at their mobile, social media, 17 times in an average. So whether it is WhatsApp or Instagram or Facebook, and that's what happens if I look at 70 times or 20 times. See, it leads to a problem called attention deficit. So attention deficit is you can't give your attention or you can't focus on anything for more than few minutes. It differs. So few people they can't give their attention or focus more than 30 minutes. For few people it is more than 15 minutes. So that is the reason even in the schools, in the colleges, that session time is they have reduced. So 30 minutes, one session, or just 40 minutes or 50 minutes. Because they can't focus more than few minutes. So that's the reason. So again, you have to think. So which is more important, or which things you have to give more importance. So I told you the main source of connection should be between you and yourself. See, when we are connected with ourselves, things like fear or anxiety, I'm not saying it will not exist. It will exist, but it will not control us, or it will not spoil our health. For example, at present, the people get so much stress after watching news channels. So you just stop watching news channels. That's it. You just cut away from the source of stress. So, but people again they can't disconnect. So that's why I said. So you just the main source of connection should be between you and yourself. So that time. So when you're connected to yourself, so you'll come to know like which is more important than like from which source you'll get so much stress, what you have to avoid or what you have to give importance. Again, and the one control mechanism that helps to move from stress to eustress is your breath. The eustress is good stress. So, for example, the satisfaction or the excitement we get. So that is eustress. So whenever you'll be in stress, to move from stress to eustress, your breath will help. See, right now, you could be the most stressed out person. If I ask you to slow down your inhalation and exhalation, I'm not saying whatever you stress for whatever reason, it will go away. I'm not saying like that. But the cortisol, I have told you this cortisol hormone, the stress hormone, so that releases whenever you've been stressed. So that starts falling down. So just with the help of breath. So again, for that you have to practice pranayama or meditation at least in a few minutes in a day. So 15 minutes at least you should give. So these practices helps. Again, people think meditation is just for peace. No, it's not like just for peace. So meditation is to connect with you. So meditation teaches you to accept and let go. See, most of the people they can't accept and let go. That's why they have so much of stress, anxiety, or so much emotional problems. Yeah. So that's about emotional health. And these are the yoga practices for immunity. See, I told you, like, I can straight away, I can give you this yoga. These are the yoga practices for immunity. I can demonstrate or I can show you. These are the practices. Maybe you can practice, but if you don't take care of those factors, it doesn't work. So that's why people say, I've tried, but it's not working. So these are the yoga practices which helps to boost your immune system. And again, to conclude, see now at present, the whole world, even the world is resetting. Even we have to reset. We have to reconnect. We have to change our lifestyle. We have to change our habits. When it comes to immunity, so if your immunity is strong, So people again think my immune system is strong. I don't fall sick or I don't get anything. It's not like that. See, for example, if I'm in a wrong place at the wrong time, so I may get COVID, for example, I'm saying, but I'll recover very fast without much dependence on the medication. And if the person, his immunity is very low, is weaker, and if he gets COVID or any health diseases, he can't. Sometimes he can't recover very fast. Or few people they can't survive also. Maybe you have heard through the social media or news channels. But it's not only affecting, like especially COVID, not only for senior citizens, even the youth got like few people have died. It's not about our age actually. Again, it's about immune system. So you have to think how, like what are these factors, like how it affects. So how much importance you have to give. And again, people also think I've taken a vaccination, so I may not get COVID. So these things also, So after taking vaccination, also people get COVID, because see, definitely vaccination will help to increase your antibodies in your body. So it helps to increase the antibodies level. But again, if you don't take care of this nutrition, or your exercise, or your sleep, or your emotional health, again that doesn't work. Again, the immune system will become weaker. So you have to take care of these things. So in this way, you can keep your immune system strong. So thank you so much. Thanks for your time. Namaste. Once again, I thank Doon Institute of Medical Science for giving me this opportunity. Thank you. Stay home, stay safe.
Thank you, Pawan sir. Hello, everyone. This is Ayushi, and I'm so excited to invite our next guest all the way from Texas, USA. It gives me a great pleasure to introduce you all with Miss Sharon Cap. Ms. Sharon is a qualified Ayurveda doctor with specializations in Ayurveda, yoga, Panchkarma, Reiki, Thai yoga, massage therapy, Vastu Shastra, and Vedic astrology. Raised and trained in Pune, Ms. Sharon today owns the only center in Houston where both Hasta Yoga and a certified range of Ayurveda and Vedic treatments go hand in hand. Now, she's going to share with us some of her practical experiences from practicing yoga and Ayurveda.
Hello, friends. I hope that you are joining us for this International Day of Yoga celebration. And we are celebrating here in Houston, Texas, in the USA. My name is Sharon Cap, and I am an Ayurvedic doctor here. And we also have yoga, all the Vedic sciences, Jyotish, Vastu over here in the USA. And I would love to share with you a little bit of how we do this and what we do over here. So, as we celebrate this amazing day, many of you know about yoga being this very ancient science that is thousands of years old and originated in India. And all of us practice yoga on different levels, but yoga is not just about the movement of the body, it is also about the movement of the particles of chemistry that make a human being. This is why it's very important to understand how yoga really works. It's not just about flexibility of the body or about putting yourself into a pose or doing 108 sun salutations. All of these have been corrupted greatly as our science has been taken overseas to other countries. And we are one of the few studios here in Houston, Texas, in the USA, where we are returning to the Shastras, where we're returning to the Vedic scripture, and we're practicing traditional yoga over here. So we don't do any hot yoga or anything like that. We just follow the Sthira Sukham Asanam, the strength and the ease in the pose, the yamas and the niyamas, ahimsa, non-violence first to yourself. So, what does nonviolence mean? It's one of the hallmarks of our Indian culture. Nonviolence can be in many ways judging ourselves, wearing clothes that are uncomfortable, putting our bodies into situations that are uncomfortable. So, today I'd like to remind you that whatever you do in yoga asana, it's about finding this pause in your practice to experience what is going on, finding this time to breathe in properly, so that you can create the kind of elements that you want in your body, and pausing to allow the whole thing to assimilate in the body. So this is why we practice thira, sukham, asanam, strength and ease in the pose. If you're suffering, if you're not breathing, there is no yoga asana, because yoga is about this union, this yuga, this ayus, life that comes into your body as you breathe and as you move your body. So you move this prana all over the body. So what a lot of us don't understand is that yoga is about not just the movements, but also about where the pressure is put on the body. In India, we call this marmani or marma, the vital energy point. So when you do certain yoga poses, it's vitally important for you to distribute your body weight properly. And we start this by learning how to stand correctly. And this is called Pada Bandha. The whole of yoga is following the zodiac system. So we have the Purusha of the cosmos. And we have the months of the year that are represented in the bodies, like Aries is the head, Taurus is the mouth, Gemini is the arms. And so when we do yoga asana and we're using our arms, we have to make sure we don't hyperextend at the elbows, because when we hyperextend at the elbows, then we are debilitating our mercury in the body. That means our buddha, our intelligence that mercury represents, decreases in the body, and then the nervous system that is transmitting all of this messages to the brain is disturbed and distorted. So I would love to advise you, from my perspective, do not hyperextend any of your joints, especially the arms when you are doing yoga asana. Always keep a small micro bend in the arm when you're practicing. And then there is Cancer that's representing the heart, Leo that's representing your solar plexus, Virgo that's representing your small intestine, Libra the larger intestines and the internal reproductive organs, and Scorpio then that represents the external sexual organs, Sagittarius the thighs, Capricorn the knees, Aquarius the calves, and then finally Guru, which is Jupiter, the feet. This is why in our culture we touch the feet of our parents, because they are our first gurus. So when we're doing yoga asana, the first thing that you're doing is you're touching your feet to the earth, and the earth, the mother earth, is supporting us. And so extending your toes properly, keeping 2 fists apart between the knuckles of your big toes and your heels, this will align your knees and your hips. I've noticed a lot of people turn their toes to the outside, and then that's going to create a problem in the lower back area. So I would advise you to really find a good teacher that knows the anatomy of the body and understands the planetary alignments, and see how all of these work in the body when you do yoga asana. I would love to touch about one of the primary important structures of our practice, and that is pranayama, breathing in. So when we started this practice in India, we usually practiced within the family, or we had a guru of the family, and we practice with the guru. But right now what has happened is they have taken our beautiful cultural expression of yoga, and it is practiced incorrectly as entertainment, as exercise, and they have lost the spiritual aspect of really what is happening in the body biologically or chemically or physically as we breathe, as we move. So pranayama is this important aspect of bringing prana. What is prana? A lot of people don't know what prana is. So we must understand a little bit about that. The body is made of 5 doshas. We call doshas these elements that come together. It's a formula. Like you know, the formula for water is H2O. It's hydrogen, 2 bonds, and oxygen, 1 bond, right? But when they come together, then they get transformed by the heat and then they become water and earth, right? So we have the 5 elements: ether, which is represented by your thumb, air by your index finger, fire by your middle finger, water by your ring finger, and then we have earth as the little finger. So this is why we practice this by spreading the fingers and the toes. But this is also representing the 5 Panchamahabhutas that are coming in on your breath. So ether is the hold of the formula that has all of these molecules that decides that there are going to be X number of molecules to make you, and how this molecule is going to move is dictated by the movement of air. So you can see that air and ether, very important when we're breathing in. This formula is coming in through the nostrils and going into the body. And then we're using the fire of movement, of yoga asana to move, of pitta, which is your acids in your body that flow like water. So pitta is fire and water. And as we move the body, the muscles move, the lymphatics move, all of these things move, and then it becomes then our body. So it's not just a simple matter of moving the body. It's a very important aspect of how you move the body in accordance with your breathing. So if you're not breathing and you're holding your breath, then there is a huge problem, because your body then is going to hyperventilate, is going to trigger in the body what we call a fight and flight response. So today I'm going to show you some simple expressions to understand how to use your diaphragm when you're breathing during yoga asana. So if you take your fingers, this is the earth finger, the little finger, you place it right underneath your nostrils here, and you open it slightly. And when you breathe, you close your eyes and take a deep breath in. Let's do that. And as you exhale, you'll notice your rib cage, your belly, all of those are relaxing really beautifully. Let's do 2 more of that. And as you do this pranayama, you will notice that your rib cage drops, your diaphragm drops, and then you go into rest and digest. Now I'll show you another one. So we have the little finger here. If we take the ring finger and place it above the curve of the nostrils and open it out, and when we breathe now, we'll feel that the rib cage is opening out, and it's a very different breath. So try this. And you'll notice the rib cage now is opening. And if you want to try one more, you take the middle finger and place it above it and remove that. And now when you breathe, take a deep breath in. You'll notice this breath is traveling to the back of your head and neck. This is your fight and flight breath. And this is the breath we want to stop. So we always must be aware of our attention resting over here on the earth part of the body, so that the diaphragm expands properly when we're doing it. And we're breathing. When we're breathing, we're not making a sound from the throat over here. We're actually making the sound from the back of the nostrils. So you take your breath all the way as if you were, you know how when you fog your glasses, you go, you do the same thing, but to the palate. And you try that, inhaling in and exhaling. It's in the palate. And when you do that, an amazing thing happens. This prana, all these molecules, they come in and they make nitric oxide in your body. Now, what is nitric oxide? Nitric oxide is one of these amazing chemical formulas that expands your arteries, that relaxes your heart, that repairs your liver, and that brings you regeneration in the body. But when we breathe from the lower half of the throat and we make this hissing sound that they call ujjayi breath, that's the incorrect space from where the are breathing, that is going to trigger a fight and flight response in your body. And there's no more yoga asana that's happening. Now it has become an exercise that is raising your blood pressure or that is disturbing the body's equanimity. So there's no sthira, there's no sukham, and there's no asanam. There's no strength, there's no ease in the pose. And we have to remember that this is how we want to do it. We want to breathe slowly. We want to inhale completely in the right aspect of your breath. Um, Another very important thing to remember is that sun salutations. A lot of people have these great gurus that tell them that you must do 108 sun salutations and you can do sun salutations later in the evening. I must say that this is incorrect. When we're doing sun salutations, an amazing thing is happening chemically in the body. We are facing the sun, so we're getting the early morning sunshine that is regulating the pineal and the pituitary gland. Now, what is the pituitary gland? It is the organizer of all your hormones in your body, of your endocrine system, and it is light sensitive and sound sensitive. So if we want to balance all our hormones, then when we do Surya Namaskar, we have to say the names. Om Mitraye Namaha, take the hands up. Then you have to, say the mantras, all 12 names of Surya as you're doing the yoga asana. This way you're doing a pranayama because you're saying it on the out breath. And then when you're moving the body, that prana that has come, that sound that has come into your body is triggering then your pineal and pituitary gland to work properly. And it's also registering the distance of the sun and the spectrum of light that is falling on your skin. So our culture, even though it's so old, is so wise. In the old days, they would offer water in a copper pot to the sun, and all that water droplets that were refracting the light were calculating and letting your body know, because your body is photosensitive, how to absorb these colors so that your endorphins, your endocrine system, your physical body, your mental body, your spiritual body, your knowledge body, and your bliss body, all of these would work correctly. Because your body is photosensitive, we must always face the sun in the morning, say the mantra with it, the 12 names of Surya, and go slowly. If you're a Vata person and you're very mobile in your body and you have certain qualities that are variable, then you must be more careful not to do too many sun salutations, because there's a lot of possibility of hyperextension. If you're a Pitta person and you're very fiery in nature and energetic, then you can do your 12 sun salutations. If you are a Kapha person has more bigger muscles and more juicy, they're more grounded, and they can do a few more. But it can only be done in the morning, because that's why it's called Surya Namaskar. We cannot do it in the evening, otherwise you will start to suffer with heartburn, hypertensive diseases, inflammatory diseases, IBS, all of these kind of diseases we have seen in our Ayurvedic practice of people practicing yoga at the wrong time. So yoga asana should ideally be done early in the morning when the sun is rising at Brahma Muhurta, where you have finished doing your rituals of organizing your body before your yoga practice. So I just want to leave you with this information, because what has happened is, over the years when we have been invaded by the Mughals, by the British, by all of these people, we have lost this knowledge. We have to learn it back from the West now. And so it is coming back to us in a corrupted form. We as Indians, we as the people that have this great culture, have to delve deeply and find out the actual form of how to practice yoga, how to have this union of the breath, the mind, and the body in the most sacred of ways, without exploiting the body, without hurting the body, and respecting our shastras and understanding the science behind why we're doing a yoga asana, not simply doing it as a form of exercise that is devaluing the great culture of yoga that we have as a practice. So I highly encourage you as a family to practice facing east in the morning, your yoga asana. Do the poses that are good for you. This is very little time for me to express even more information, but you're very welcome welcome to contact me. I am in Houston, Texas. You can find us on www.houston, HOUSTON, dash yoga, YOGA, dash Ayurveda, AY. Blessings of Lord Dhanvantri, Lord Patanjali, Lord Shiva. Om Namah Shivaya.
Thank you, Ms. Sharon. Hello and namaste, everyone. This is Arpita. We have now completed with our scientific sessions. I am sure we all got something new to learn today. Our curiosity to learn and practice yoga has increased through these intrigued sessions. Now is the fun part. Who wins the Dehradun Yoga Wizard Award and which institute takes home the title? To announce the winners, we have with us Dr. Vineet Kumar Agnihotri, sir, Professor and HOD Department of Swasth Vritta. Sir, I request you to please announce the results.
everybody. Good evening. Wishing you all a very happy International Yoga Day. Everybody might be having a heartbeat raised, but it is the fate of time that who have done better, he will be having the better position. Well, congratulations to young scholars for this presentation. We have kept a consolation program that is for the fourth position in Yoga Wizard. Competition to encourage students, they missed the first three with the slight difference, but yet they can be the toppers next year. Definitely, we all wish them for their great success. The fourth position is shared by Miss Nutan Singh, Miss Diksha Nautiyar, Miss Palak Tiwari from Doon Institute of Medical Sciences, Dehradun. The third position is secured by and shared by Miss Neha Tarar from Doon Institute of Medical Sciences and Miss Kavya Parihar from Shivalik Institute of Ayurveda and Research, Dehradun. Now we come to the second position. The second position is secured and shared by Mr. Arumb Pushkar from Uttaranchal Ayurvedic College and Miss Divyanshi Chauhan from Shivalik Institute of Ayurveda and Research. It was a very tough competition and judges had to pay a lot of time and attention to decide the rank. Now, the first position, which is the most awaited, the first position in the title of Dehradun Yoga Wizard is secured and shared by Mr. Aman Pal and Muhammad Rashid Khan from Doon Institute of Medical Sciences. Our congratulations to all the winners and all participants. All the very best for yoga practice and title competition next year. We all wish them very, very good success and greetings to the winners and also all best wishes for the participants. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Dr. Vinit Kumar sir. Hello everyone, I'm Kritika. I congratulate all the winners of first ever Dehradun Yoga program. Thank you all the participants of all the Ayurvedic College of Dehradun. The program was announced few days back, but your overwhelming performance and participation made it a big success. Now, moving toward our valedictory section, I request Dr. Ashok Kumar Sharma sir, our campus director and professor, HOD Department of Dravya Gun, to express vote of thanks.
I, Dr. Ashok Kumar Sharma, Director, Doon Institute of Medical Science from Faculty of Ayurveda, once again welcome you all on the occasion of international webinar organized by Doon Institute of Medical Sciences on 7th International Yoga Day. I welcome and recognize the attendance of Her Excellency Shrimati Baby Rani Maurya, Governor of Uttarakhand, Shri Harak Singh Ji Rawat, Minister Ayush Uttarakhand, Dr. Sunil Joshi, Vice Chancellor, Uttarakhand Ayurveda University, and distinguished and young participants collaborating with this today. Dr. Mridul Lonkar has enlightened us with applied aspect of Ashtanga Yoga, which perhaps remains a neglected territory in academics. Dr. Sunil Parab touched upon a very different and nice aspect of yoga philosophy, and Shri Pavan Kumar SN about balance within various necessary factors of human life that support and boost the yogic practices. Mrs. Sharon shared many wise remarks about practical aspects of yoga and being ethical and truthful to the text. All these sessions were inspiring. I thank all the scholars for connecting with us through such distant locations. I must also recognize the active support from management Srimati Deepti Rawat, Chairperson, Shri Tushit Rawat, Managing Director, Srimati Anukriti Gosai Rawat, Executive Director, and of course our Principal Dr. Mrs. Archana Kamble, Faculty of Ayurveda, Doon Institute of Medical Science, for her active and continuous support for this event. I also congratulate Dr. Sunil Parab, who worked as organizing secretary. His planning, networking, and technical expertise made this event possible. It was really nice and enriching experience listening to such knowledgeable persons about role of yoga for physical fitness and mental well-being, and in a way enhancing one's immunity. I once again extend my sincerest regards and thanks to all of you on the successful conclusion of international webinar on 7th International Yoga Day. Thank you.
Hi, this is Jigyasa. Hope you enjoyed the webinar and competition, made notes, learned something new, got new questions, inspired to start practicing yoga, thinking of next webinar guidance. All in all, I hope you celebrate the 7th International Yoga Day to the fullest. Please do write to us with your feedback, suggestion, comment at acaddims@gmail.com. Have a nice day and a great year ahead. Wish you all happy International Yoga Day once again. Namaste.